The chair. Spotlight stealing chair.
Dobbs is Devon's Dablin.
Hello, everyone. Mac, Willow, Theron, Al, Liari. Mac again, Willow again. So, that guy in Dove's stream, he wasn't, like, new to that night. I didn't, like, dig into his chat history. Alright, is everyone familiar with the whole sharks are smooth bit? Sharks are smooth from all sides. I'm touching a shark right now and it's smooth in every direction. Is everyone familiar with that? I'm surprised it took you until the end, Mac. You've never heard of the shark thing. Okay. Some guy makes a comic about cavemen learning about sharks for the first time. And the punchline panel is like him, like waist deep in water, going, "Smooth lions are eating my legs." And that's it. That's the end of the comic. Funny little bit. Barely a punchline. But somebody has to pipe up in the comments and say, actually, sharks have fairly rough skin and it actually feels more like sandpaper. And the guy that made the comic, like a normal person, doesn't really care. That wasn't the joke. That was a minor detail that was unimportant to the joke. So his response is, actually, no, sharks are in fact smooth. Sharks are completely smooth. The water just slides right off of them. It's incredible. It's the smoothest substance on Earth. And the original corrector replies, no, I went and I got some research papers that I've linked here that describe, the texture of shark skin, and I can prove with all of this documentation that sharks are very rough. And everyone else in this thread, again, about a stupid caveman comic of caveman getting eaten by sharks for the first time comic, everyone is piling on with like, actually, I have a degree in shark skin, and I can verify that sharks are actually completely smooth from every direction. Well, I have a shark right here. I'm touching it right now, and it's smooth in every direction. And the original corrector never backs down. And it's hilarious. To which the conclusion is that there is a certain type of mind that, because they know they are the smartest person in the room, no one could possibly just be messing with them. They're ill-informed and they truly believe all the things they're saying, and they must be corrected. As long as you never, ever actually acknowledge that you are just messing with them, they will never back down, and it is hilarious. So that is the sharks are smooth phenomenon. And that was exactly what was happening in GermDove's chat today. And you know what? I think we had decent reason to basically be yanking his chain, as they say, because the guy was like, he was effectively saying, someone give me a copy of this game. Someone give me a copy of this $15 Steam game. I know he never outright said it, but it was, where can I play this game? And it's like, oh, you can buy it on Steam, or this, you can get it on this platform, or itch, or all these others. And he was like, no, where can I get it for free? No, he came back in chat, he's like, I checked that, and it costs $15. And you know what? I think within this small circle, this small community of people that are gathered here today to witness games being built for a 4-year period, I think we all are pretty much of the opinion that it takes a lot of work to make a video game. And maybe it's reasonable that the person that makes the video game sets a price for the video game, so they get a little bit of money when you buy their video game. But the guy was like, oh, there's no way this game should be $15. 12 at the most. It's really good. Yeah, the game is really good. And he was like, no, $15 is too much. $12 is what this game is worth. They're like, oh, well, you know, it's funny you should say that because it goes on sale for $10.50. No, it was really fun. It was really fun. And from there devolved into, oh, actually, the game is free. If you just have to pay $15 and it's free. He's like, that doesn't make any sense. What are you talking about? No, yeah, it's free. You just $15 and you can get it for free. Like that doesn't. No, I don't want to pay any money. You don't have to pay any money. It's just $15 and then you can have the game for free. It's free for $15. Like, no, what are you even saying? That doesn't make any sense. I don't want to pay $15. You don't have to pay $15. I'm just saying that if you pay $15, you can have this game for free. It's like free for $15 is a great phrase. That is really getting chalked up there with the 16 tiles guy. Anyway, I'm excited to see RV in Dove's chat again sometime. No, that was a wonderful time, and I really enjoyed witnessing that happening. He got banned. No, Germ, no, why? You freed him. You didn't ban him. You freed him. You told someone to shut it. I mean, in Baba Is You, shut can be up. Oh, let's see. I feel like the worst punishment for him would be if he had to stay. I don't think he was having a good time. I feel like he was already in a prison of his own making, and we released him into the world. We had him in quarantine. Someone gonna answer my question? Where do I find a free copy of this $15 game? What a weird guy. What a weird. I don't know. Early teen. He had 24 in his name, but I don't think that he's 2. Graduation year, maybe. More likely, probably date of account creation. That was a common. That's a thing. Yeah, I liked that he said, Germdub and I are the only ones that understand what's happening here. Germdub was making no efforts to ever agree with him. And was in fact doing the exact same thing everyone in chat was. Which was piling on with the free for $15 bit. Oh, I loved that. Free for $15 is great. Okay, so I got this vaguely, like, we have a deformation, which is more than we ended last stream with. So you can see that I have a deformation here through the power of magic. Through the power of magic. And, I mean, it's okay. It's not great, of course. So that's got to be this, yeah, right here, this material override. Ripped a hole in the floor. That's the point. That's the point. We want the hole. Now, if I change this to, like, red, what does that do for me here? What does that do? See, it only changes the edges. So what's this void here? What am I looking at here? What is the void that I'm seeing there? Is that this intersect? It's probably this intersection, isn't it? No, it's not. Okay. Is that something with the material? Is it overlaying the viewport texture itself? Or is that this? Oh, look at that. It's like when it gets to a certain layer, it blacks out. And I don't want that to happen. Let's review the shader code then. So this would be the fragment shader. Ground times modulate. Okay. So does this look, is this pure black? Is that what I'm seeing here? Easy way to check. Make it all. No, well. Hang on, what about if I make it all pure white? Then it's blue. Is that because of the environment? Maybe? I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Okay, trail recolored is just this. It's not ground modulate either. It's just the ground, right? Insane announcement from Casual. $15 video games are now free for a limited time for $15. Sorry, not from Casual, for Casual. $15 all $15 games free for a limited time for $15. Casual, it was a whole thing. It was hilarious. I'm sorry you missed it. Ground modulate. Trail recolored. Huh. All right, so that makes me feel like it's all Vertex business. Yeah, it's the Vertex. It's true. Man, it was fantastic. What you missed, Casual, was somebody in GermDove's channel. Germ was playing Baba Is You today. And someone came into chat, in Germ's chat, on the Twitch side. So that makes it easier to track down. And basically the guy was like, hey, where can I get this game that Germ is playing? And we were like, he got it on itch, you can get it on Steam, you can find it on this platform, that platform. And he comes back a few minutes later and says, they're charging $15 for it. Where can I get it for free? Like, you can't. And then he goes off on the spiel like, I'll make it myself in Python. Like, okay. Go for it. And I don't know what he was looking for. I don't know if he was looking for just validation of like, I'm a programmer. I can make video games. Like, dude. I never said that. I never said. I mean, my GD script. Godot is basically Python. It's almost exactly the same flavor. It's C++ under the hood, but GD script is pretty much Python. Yeah, you forgot about that part where he was like, I can make this in Python. And then it was like, oh, there's so many textures. This would take a long time. Like, I mean, there's a guy that already did this, but he does charge $15 for the end product. Yeah, it was great. So then the catchphrase became, you can actually get this for free. It costs $15, but you can get it for free if you pay $15. And he's like, what? Yeah. There's a place online on Steam. If you go to Steam, there's like a buy button and it charges $15. But once you do that, you can actually have the game for free. It's like, what do you mean? What does that even mean? No, dude, just it's $15. You can have it for free. It's like, no, I don't want to pay any money. You don't have to pay any money. Just it's $15 and you can pay it for free. Like, what? It was really good. Because he couldn't let it go. He couldn't be like, oh, they're yanking my chain because I was being dismissive of the amount of work that goes into making a video game. Yeah. So anyway, that is what happened, and it was fantastic. Really perked me right up. I've been extremely drowsy today. Extremely drowsy this week. Apparently the guy got banned, which is very unfortunate. Oh, and we got to pull out the old "what's your favorite color of bed?" Oh, hang on. Here's a... Oh, dang it. I just went back for it. Yeah, I came back and like, it's $15. It's like, yeah? And? All right, here you go. It's time-stamped VOD. Time-stamped VOD of when the guy started getting into things. Oh, and the demakes, the free versions aren't that good. It's like, yeah, that's the idea. That's the whole idea. Oh, man, I can't believe he got banned. What is the deal here? I thought we were onto something. Okay. So it's like when it gets below a certain depth, it's just void. Void. Why is that? Like, it definitely is purely because of the depth, right? But, like, why would that be the case, that it suddenly becomes this deep color? Like, I'm assuming, but I can't be certain, but I'm assuming, is it because of, ooh, no, it's not. It's not the environment, at least not solely the environment. Is it the polygon? No, it's not because of this intersection business. Because that's still got that suddenly massive... The polygon I'm just using as an intersection to kind of get this kind of rougher edge. Just to experiment, make sure that's doable. Mesh. Sprite. Sprite is that. Sprite is you. Particle is 3D. Subviewport. Box, box, box. Okay, what, why? Normal? Maybe it's the normal? It's the normal. The guy, he even calls out, I don't know about normals nearly enough to know if I'm doing it right. I don't think he's doing it right. It was the normals. Okay, do we care? Do we care about adjusting the normals? That's not going to control... Well, there's a little bit of lighting to be handled there. Normal.x, vertex.y? All right, how would you get the normal? What if we just don't? Like, it's still gonna be the right angle, and shadows will still be drawn correctly across it, but the lighting might be a little bit suspy. But I think that's okay. Okay, I think something like that looks fine. Okay, so right now it's not attached to anything, so it doesn't actually move around with the player. But there's our snow trail. This is what it will look like when there is a snow trail. It'll look like that. Okay, now we're gonna put in a heck of a lot of work into automating this process so that all I have to do is slap down some big meshes and then say that mesh needs to have snow tracks in it. and then the game will do all the rest. It's a tall order, but I think we can pull it off. It's going to look amazing. Maybe we can find a nice crunchy snow sound effect. That'd be good. Oh, that's a good idea, Al. Real time. Man, I remember playing Oxygen Not Included, and that game seems to have like an incredible physics simulation until you actually start to pick apart how it works. You're like, oh, they're cheating. Oh, they're cheating a lot. Oh, this is just tile-based updates. This is exploitable. And then you exploit it. You you lie to the player. We lie to the player. You lie to the player. Okay, so how do we want to handle this? Is there a single, all right, implementation. This is what the viewport looks like. I've got this sprite here as an example to show what's being drawn. So check it out. If we move this particle effect around, you can see what it'll look like when someone is moving around in the snow. And this is one of these things that, like, it doesn't affect gameplay at all, but people will have so much fun. Just like, I'm gonna draw something in the snow. That's what everybody's gonna do, unfortunately. But I think it's important that people are given the ability to make lines in the snow. I mean, we can have like little things hiding that you have to find or something. Like maybe there's some kind of hidden message and you have to kind of like stomp the snow out so that you can read it little bit by bit. But I don't know. So one texture for the entire area seems right, but also seems expensive. I think once we get something working, I'm going to just leave it as is and then say, hey, everybody who's testing the demo changes, please also warp into Chapter 4 test room and just make sure it doesn't like absolutely blow up your system with how much it's doing. Because we need to also consider things like how precise is it? So for instance, 256. If we reduce the granularity, then hey, that's a quarter as much rendering to be done, but it is a lot less precise. And maybe that's okay. Like maybe that's like, you know what? That's still pretty good. Honestly, looking at this, that's like not bad. What we'll do is we'll parameterize this, how precise it should be. I think that's a good thing to parameterize. Okay, and then the big tricky thing was, what about multiple layers? That's a thing that can happen. You could have a layer up here and a layer down here of snow. Oh, you watched enough to see. He was a hoot, and he's gone forever now. We'll never see him again, unless he like tracks us down and follows us into our individual channels. And you know what? He can hang out here. I'm fine with that. I want to talk to him more about $15 free games. Okay. He was an aspiring game dev. Yeah, so he might show up and talk about how he's remaking Baba Is You. Give him like 2 months, man. 2.5. He can just do it in Python, except the textures. The textures are going to be hard because he has to import them. Okay. Giving me some ideas. All right, so what we do is we have a node 3D called Snow Handler, or Snow Track Handler. Okay, that has a script attached, which is the snow deformation manager that we haven't finished writing yet. That extends node 3D. Okay, so that gets that. I think that's why he got piled on so hard. Is everyone like, you have a very confrontational opinion. Yeah. The more I got into that game, and I don't want to be specific. I know a lot of people have played through the game, and I know some people are still working their way through it. Every time I got to a new area and was introduced to a new word, I was like, no way. No. Oh. Yeah. That's what it felt like every time. The level was right. It's like, that's not what that should do. I get it, but I hate it. Oh, man. Some of those levels were too big brain for me. Some of them were super simple, and I was just completely blind. And some of them were very clear on what they were doing. It was like, there's no tricks here, nothing to figure out. It's just implement the solution. It's like, oh. Bonus level in the mountains. I don't remember exactly what it was. That pillar one where the lonely tile becomes dust, becomes lava. I hated that one. I sort of bumped into the solution at one point. I was like, thank goodness. I figured out what needs to be done, and it was just a matter of like, there's a lot of different ways that I could get that there, and I really don't want to try them all. 2 Babas on tiles that can't go on empty. I liked, you know what? I can't even say what words I liked because those are spoilers. Yeah, it was like those. It's rough when it's like you have to plan a thing out. When you can just kind of play with the words and be like, maybe if I was pushed, does that do anything? That's when you are push, that's one of the weirdest situations. It's like, why does that matter? Oh, I see. Yeah, Casual's working on a pack of levels. The one you sent me as like a test seemed very straightforward. So yeah, I think I can probably manage. I like there's a sort of flow that most of the official Baba Is You levels follow, which is, here is a puzzle. You have an intuitive idea of how to solve it. You attempt that intuitive solution, and you're about to get to the end, and then there's a catch. There's like, and then you have to rethink how you approached it from the beginning. I love that so much, that somehow he keeps coming up with ways to kind of lead you down this one thought path, lead you down the garden path. And you're like, okay, I get it. I'm smart. I can do a puzzle video game. And then you're like, oh no. Oh, but I already used the... Oh no. It's so good. It's really, really well done. Baba's brain. Okay, Snow Track Handler is going to contain a list of, I guess CSG mesh object things. And these meshes can be of weird shapes. They can be of whatever direction, orientation. It's fine. And whatever position they want to be in is fine. Oh no, whatever position. That means we're going to have to do some parameterization of the position to do like an offset. Additionally, the mesh it's based on needs to be divided properly, automatically. Oh, automatically. Yikes. I mean, I can probably find the mesh that the CSG mesh is based on. So as long as we say it has to be a CSG mesh, then we're fine. So we're gonna call this Snow Plains. Oh boy. And this is an array of, it has to be CSG meshes. So this is every snow plane in existence, and it's already set up and shaped, and it doesn't have to be the correct subdivision. For instance, this could be like 20 or 4 or 2. No, more than that, 10. So you can see, like, if I zoom in here, we might be able to see. Yeah, look at the shape of this. So I've divided it into 10 blocks horizontally and 100 blocks back and forth. The result is we got these like thin rectangles. The mesh can only be kind of stretched at the intersections, the vertices. Thanks for the lizard party, Casual. And so the result is that when we have a very irregular setup like this of these long rectangles, the end result is not very good. But when we make it more square, then we get a much clearer picture of depth, of shader depth, and that's good. So we want to automatically calculate, like, okay, what's the division we need, and just go ahead and update it on the mesh. I think we're allowed to do that on a mesh live, right? Yeah, subdivide width. We can edit that. So what I'm going to do is, to start with, I'm going to set this poorly. And then we're going to go back and hopefully fix it. So Snow Track Handler, we want to have a desired, I guess, like granularity on the mesh. Mesh, subdivide, distance. As a float, 0.1. 10 subdivisions per unit of distance. Sure. All right, ready. For snowplane in snowplanes, for each snowplane, source mesh, since this is a CSG mesh, it has a mesh object of type, I don't actually know. Source mesh dot mesh, no. I know that it's going to be a plane. Mesh instance 3D. Oh no, it's not a mesh instance. It is a mesh, not a mesh instance. There's a tricky little discrepancy there. What kind of mesh? A plane mesh. We're gonna say it's specifically a plane mesh. We are allowed to say that. It might not be true, but it sure better be. Now we can define the subdivide. There we go. Depth and width. Depth. This is our Z dimension. That's going to be based on the CSG mesh. No, it's going to be based on the mesh's size, because we're not going to scale these, hopefully. So I have here the size of this mesh being 7 units. So I can say source mesh dot size dot y. And I'm going to say, yeah, well, therefore, I want to set that to 70. So that's divide by the subdivide distance. And then width, size.x. Okay, that's just our starting one. So what we want to see is that this gets replaced by an actual dip, because it's going to correct the subdivision. That doesn't look great. That doesn't look like it actually corrected it. Let me add some checks there. I'm expecting to see 130, 70. Well, 70, 130. Oh, I'm not seeing either, because I didn't say that this mesh is one of the meshes to be used yet. I do have to actually tell it to operate on the mesh. That'll be more obvious later when we add the automatic sub-viewport calculation. Yes, we got it, we got it. So it's actually making a hole there using the magic of shaders. Okay, so that's our first step. I'm gonna go ahead and add a second pairing of a mesh instance. Let's get rid of this. I'm gonna put this mesh in here to parent it for now, even though that doesn't matter. Just so I can duplicate and make a new mesh that's gonna go over here, because we're gonna need to start testing these things moving around. So this one does not have this. Okay. Okay, this is fine. This CSG mesh uses this mesh. So copy that mesh, paste it in here. There we go. Now we have two separate meshi. Actually, let's take this mesh. Now that this is a separate mesh, we can change it around a little bit. And this one, isn't it supposed to use this? Copy. Paste. There we go. That's what I want to see. I'm gonna go downstairs and grab a mug. Be right back. In the meantime, what would we rather watch? Would we rather watch the beautiful lights or clips? Vote one on your mobile device, or mobile or touch tone phone enabled device now to. Okay. I might be the greatest gamer. Come on, give me that, give me that. I need that call. Oh, jeez. Come on, come on, come on. Yes! Yes! Oh my gosh. That's it. That's it. 32 heat. Oh. Oh. That's what it is. Then you can just kind of whoop. And then you just wait. Pow. Oh, we're gonna beat it. Bop. Drill down. Bop. Bop. We're back. We're back. Okay. So we have appropriate divot over here. Okay. So the next step. The next step. What is the next step? The next step is... we want to create the sub-viewport that is going to represent the sum total of all snow that gets deformed. So for these 2 puddles of snow, we are going to have a single sub-viewport that represents the entirety of the entire scene. So it's going to be like not actually stretching that big, but that's the idea, is that it matches, yeah, like more like this. It's going to match the dimensions of the entire area. And somehow we're taking a snippet of that and drawing it onto each of these as like, okay, here's the set we're taking here. And we want this to be dynamic. We want to dynamically create a sub-viewport. Well, does it have to be dynamically created? Does it? What do we need to set here? Own world 3D and the size. Okay, that's not much. We could create that dynamically, and that's not a big deal. But we do need a camera. Again, that can be created dynamically very easily. And the particles have to be created dynamically. Okay, yeah. I was originally thinking like, oh, we need to make this a node we can just throw into the scene. It's like, no, the script can do all that. It's fine. Okay, so we've done that. Next, we need to make the sub-viewport. That's not how you do it. Make a new one. I need to determine how big it needs to be. I need to get the bounds of the base meshes. Oh, I gotta be careful about rotation. I gotta be careful about rotation because like the whole scene could be rotated, the parents could be rotated. I could just check the 4 corners of each of these CSG meshes and call it a day, because that will capture the leftmost point, the rightmost value, the furthest, the backest, the frontest and the backest. So yeah, that might be the way to do it. Okay, so we create the sub-viewport. Own world 3D does need to equal true. That's not huge. Okay, now we need to find the boundaries. Okay, so of a CSG mesh. CSG mesh. Oh, now this is interesting. That is interesting, isn't it? So what would I want to grab here? The corresponding size. Yeah, so this one here, it's a 5 meter wide mesh. Therefore, 2.5 meters to the left is the farthest it can go. But you have to take into consideration that there could be scaling going on. I hope there's not, but there could be. There could be rotation at play. So what if I this one's weird. This is a weird way to do this. I'm trying to think of some way to calculate the like easternmost, westernmost, northernmost, southernmost point of this mesh, the CSG mesh object. And the way I'm thinking is generate a new node, generate 4 node 3Ds, add them to the mesh as children, and then set their local transform equal to half of this size. So 2.5, 3.5. So set their position to 2.5, 3.5. And that will be the corner, barring, there will be the possibility of some cutoff, and that's fine because we'd rather overshoot than undershoot. But if this CSG mesh is rotated or scaled in different ways, it doesn't matter. Because still, as long as I'm checking those 4 corner points, I should still be getting those objects at the I can iterate on their global transform. I don't love it, but it does work. And it only has to be done at the scene load. Okay, so we're gonna have a leftmost. Let's just start it at a very high value. This is not a great. Normally, you would, if you were really worried about this kind of stuff, you would start it at like null or something. Is back positive or negative? Back is positive Z, so that's equivalent to right. So we're going to start negative. I'm not going to remember that. Frontmost. Okay, there we go. So we're going to start with that, and then if we, on each of these 4 corners we check, we're going to add a node, check its position, compare it against these 4 values, replace if it's greater, less than, whatever. And then roll from there, right? Can I just do it? I can just do a dot max, right? Okay, yeah, let's do that instead of this dumb stuff. Left values, right values, back values, front values. Okay, so for each of these, we need to add nodes. Okay, so for X in, so the position on the X, we're going to take the source mesh size. And then do the same for Y. Except divide it by half. There's a better way to do this, right? X iter, a cleaner way to do this. Y iter in -1 to 1. So we're just iterating on these 4 combinations to create the 4 corners. Corner node equals node 3D dot new. snowplane dot add child corner node, and then corner node dot position equals. We're gonna take the x iter, multiply it by half. So go half to the side. And then do the same for y to go half the distance forward or backwards. Except that's the z value, y value can be 0.0. Okay, so there we go. There's our position. And now, vector 3. And now, left values dot append corner node dot global position dot x. That should be x values and y values, as it turns out, is all we need. Or z values, rather. Z values. Okay, there we go. And then you can delete the corner node. Do we even need to add it? Yes, because we need the transform of the parent. Okay, so that's gonna add 4 nodes, 1 to each corner, record their positions, and then trash them. For determining viewport size. All this is to determine what is the minimum viewport size we can safely get away with. All right, so now, leftmost is xValues.min. Rightmost is xValues.max. Frontmost is zValues.min. And backmost zValues.max. I would love to go ahead and get this printed. Just show me left and right. Let's see that that's working at least. It's not fully there because we only added the one mesh. Negative 0.75 to 12. How does that look? Yes. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, cool. Add this other test mesh here. Okay. Now, what is an appropriate resolution for this subviewport? Per unit. So this is about 12 units across, and we've determined that roughly 256 seems to be fine for that. So we could go with 21 pixels per unit, so maybe like 20, let's say a nice even 25. We'll parameterize that. Viewport pixels per unit. We're gonna say 25. So now we can actually determine the size, the number of units we need. Oh shoot, you know what? Oh, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine actually. We're gonna see. Push ahead, fix it later. All right, subviewport size is of type rectangle, right? Wait, what? What is this? Size is a vector 2i. Okay. So we want to do int of rightmost minus leftmost, int of backmost minus frontmost. Okay. There we go. We've created our viewport. Yay. What do we do with our viewport? Now we need to create a separate material for each snow plane. And it needs to reference the shader and the viewport. All right. Shader material.new. Material. So what does that look like? How do you do a shader material? So we can set it. We can't set it as the mesh material because that mesh could be shared. So we got to watch out for that. So we'll set it as the material override. Okay, and now we can mess with the material itself. Material.shader. How do you set that in code? It's just a property, just dot equals of type shader. So surely I can load the shader. Not full generated code used internally. Surely I can just dot load this, right? Shall we try it? Is that gonna break? We'll find out. Here we go. I'm expecting to see, like, I don't know, blank. Okay, no, that's good. That's probably good. That's probably good. Maybe. Because yeah, none of this stuff will be set. So material.set shader parameter, and then we have to set these up. Trail underscore color. And then we give it the value. Color dot from string default color dark sand. And then ground modulate. This and light blue, sure. It doesn't matter. It's going to use this. This will parse. It's better parse. Ditchite. We'll set that at some point. Viewport texture. This gets tricky, doesn't it? The texture, it's always going to be the same viewport texture. Okay, so we can actually set that up here. Viewport texture equals viewport texture.new and viewport texture.path. Oh, .path. Is that how that works? It is. Okay, so we need to path to the sub viewport from this node. Path, get path to, and then the node, sub viewport. That works, I think. All right. So now we can set this one, viewport underscore texture. equal to viewport texture. Floor texture is a texture 2D, as is floor height map. But both of those, I don't know if this was an oversight. In the example, they both used snow height. So I don't know. We're gonna leave it as is for now. Local scene, yes. Well, it's funny you say that. I don't know if this is necessary or not, but we're gonna roll with it. I have an idea. Hold on. I've got it. In Python. Oh, I heard that after I left, he got banned, and that made me feel, I don't know, slight sense of loss. Like losing a pet. It's like, oh man. I like poking at the cage. We were trying to, I mean, maybe you were. I was enjoying every minute of it. Okay. So this should be fine. This might explode. Oh wait, no, that looks good. That's working. That's actually working. Holy cow, that's working. I did hear that he heard people. Well, door is shut. It is shut. So who's the fool now? Okay, now all we gotta do. Okay, now the sub viewport needs a camera and a particle effect to test with. Snail is shut. Salt is open. We're gonna generate a camera on our own. Don't worry about it. I love that Salt is open. Everyone loves that Salt is open. All right, how does this camera work? Ah, we need to create a new environment for this camera. And other things have to be done as well. The coal mask has to be set. Like, that's it, right? That's all we... Do we need to actually set the mode? I guess we should set the mode. I'll miss him. I'll miss him dearly. BG mode. Uh-oh, that's not a thing. Enum under what? Environment.bg mode. Ah. Oh, BG color. Yeah, BG color. Oh, actually, I don't know exactly how this works. I didn't research at all. I just tried something and it worked. He did keep calling it BIY. Baba is so hard to spell. So in the game file, everything is just white or a little bit gray. For things that have like multiple colors, like doors, where it's like there's the door with a little bit of trim and a little doorknob being slightly darker. But it can't just be straight up modulation, I don't think, but maybe that would be a good way to do it. I was trying to think of some examples in game, but I think everything in the game supports being having color added to the sprites, and so the easiest way to do that in most engines is you start with pure white and then you modulate the color. You multiply the color by whatever. So white times red is red. Red times blue is magenta. And so on. That's not multiplying the color. I don't remember what that is. Don't worry about it. Is that... That might be. Anyway. But if the sprite starts with a color, like bright yellow, then it starts that way in game. And I just don't know what would happen if the thing was given a different color. The whole thing about sprites being able to have different color, you do notice this in some levels where everything just starts with a slightly different color palette than you might be used to. I can't think of any good examples, but that is a thing that happens sometimes, is they just start things out with a different... Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one that shows off the... Well, no, that one you see the rules casting the colors, but that's not always how it is. In some levels, and I'm not going to spoil... I can only think of two, and they're a long ways off. But things can start with colors other than what they normally are, and there's no rules that are making them that color. And I assume that's something that you can set in the level editor or some kind of advanced options. All that said, I don't know what would happen if you had an already colorful sprite set as a color. But yeah, all the sprites that I saw in the game files, all those textures, they're just white. You might be able to. It's not I won't say anything. I'm not gonna make judgments on the difficulties of puzzles. Ugh. Okay. I really like the Space Zone, the things they add to that. I don't love Empty a ton, but I do really like Fall. It's really satisfying, and there's at least in the phase of the game you're in, you never have to be stuck on anything. Everything's set up in such a way that you've always got more levels you could switch over to and still progress. Whether that be unlocking new levels or clearing a world. You know, just achieving enough puzzle victories to get a clear. Okay, camera. I'm gonna kill my throat. I was reading a book to Little Toadette. And I had to do the voices, so... that was rough. Camera dot projection equals orthogonal. We're just gonna dynamically create this because I don't care. Size is the scary one. Position is a little scary. It's probably fine. I mean, no, if we just set it, move it like up really high. As long as it's within draw distance, we're fine. Face it down. And that's it aside from the size. Okay, so how does that work? How does camera work here? Okay, show me the camera. Why is it that shape? It's that shape because of the sub viewport. Okay, size. That is exactly the parameter that we had. Okay, we are in great shape. Camera.size is pixels per unit for the viewport, 25. No, it was okay. And we're developing strong opinions on children's literature, I'm afraid. Little Toadette has gotten into a book series called Humphrey the Hamster. It's about a little classroom pet, and he goes on little adventures in his school. And she really likes I don't like him. She really likes the audiobooks for it. They're great for the car. They actually help get her into the car and getting to school. I don't like this Humphrey fellow. But there's two different narrators that the audiobook series uses. She likes one of them and not the other. Humphrey. Well, he can hum free for $15. Oh, I need to set the coal mask. Oh, that's gonna be 512. Free hamster, only $15. So we're having trouble having enough. No. Having enough audiobooks of Humphrey the Hamster that have the correct narrator. But at the local public library, we grabbed a copy of the offshoot series, the spin-off series, that follows the story from the other classroom pet's perspective, Og the Frog. And because she hasn't heard any Og the Frog audiobooks, she's not going to mind if I'm the one doing the voice of Og the Frog, because the only line he says from Humphrey's perspective is boing. And so I can get away with a lot more. Why is background mode bad? What is it not like there? BG mode. Custom clear color. Yeah. That's what I did, I think. Environment.bg color. All right, wait. Let's look at that message again. It was saying that it couldn't be an int. Oh, base object. Oh. Base object is null. Is camera null? Camera's not null. Is environment null somehow? Because it looks like I'm setting it to a new world environment. Huh. For sale, free hamster, never born. $73. Yeah. I wasn't in a position where I could really keep up with that, with chat at that point, but the moment that I heard people starting to talk about that, I was like, okay, if someone comes into chat and they're like, I've completed 73.6% of this game, I'm like, okay, you're obviously keeping tabs on it. You know how many levels are in the game somehow. That already tells me that you're kind of looking ahead a bit. I don't know, exactly what your story is, but there's something about it that I don't trust. Like, it implies you're gaining information that you're not supposed to have. The game is not giving you all the information that you're gathering, which doesn't put paint a good light around what you're how you're approaching this. World environment.new, right? It was unusual. And you know what? I'm curious to look up the exact number of levels to see if that's even possible with any reasonable rounding. Imagine if there were, okay, there's not, but imagine if there were exactly 10 levels in the game and then someone says, I've completed 73% of the levels. It's like, that's not mathematically possible. Okay, what's the deal here? Object null. 10 levels? What have you been doing this whole time? World environment null. Here we go. As it turns out, calling the global variable in another what? No, that doesn't help me at all. World environment node returning null. Nope, that's the same one I was on just a moment ago. Nodes are runtime objects. You must use decorator on ready. I mean, that doesn't really help. I've got an idea that I want to try here. Hey, Avenel. It's been going good tonight. We are working on a system to create tracks in the snow. And it is... I have mixed feelings about what I'm doing here because I'm going to be spending a full week or so working on this little feature that is not going to affect gameplay at all. And I feel like I'm really wasting my time when I could be, oh, I gotta draw the sprites for this area. I gotta make the new enemies and give them attacks and sound effects and write a lot of dialogue for a lot of penguins. But it still feels like it's really important, you know? See that there, right there, world environment does exist. So if you create world environment.new, all right, well, let's try this then. And now when we're messing with the environment, mess with that value directly. See if that works. So it feels like it's very important, but no, world environment is coming back. Oh, wait. Background mode. World environment. Oh, world environment in turn has a property called environment. Oh, I knew that. Camera has an environment. Environment has... No, it doesn't. World environment dot... I'm losing... semantic satiation. I'm losing it there. Environment? Environment? So you create an environment, and then the environment gets a new environment. And then that's got all that stuff on it. So... and then you can set the background color. All this to just make a blank environment that is pure white. Okay. We have some snow. Behind the scenes, there is a camera. And there is a viewport that it's drawing to. So the next thing we need is the particle effect, I think. I'm going to apply this to the player. And we're just gonna see if this works. We're just gonna see if I don't expect this to work. I don't expect this to work yet. But there's a chance. It does not work yet. Okay, that's not super surprising. I mean, okay, so there's, you can see it there. Now you're not supposed to be able to see it though, because it's on layer 10. Oh wait, that's supposed to be, no, the sub viewport should be able to see that. Huh. How much of this can I mess with in the snow tracker? Okay, so this is kind of shedding some light on how this is supposed to be working. Is that characters will leave behind a little trail that disappears over time. That's just using particle effects. And an invisible camera is going to be... oh, that's why. Because the particle effect needs to be in here. So let's just move it like right over here and see if we can see it. I don't see it, not yet. But I am allowed to move it. I can move it in real time. Oh wait, no, this is not the, it's not the real one. It's not the real sub viewport. Okay, then we need to move on to the next phase before we're gonna see any progress. I hate that we're having to do a lot of invisible work here. We're making progress, but we're not gonna be able to see the results for a couple steps. I don't love that, but I get it. So this particle effect here, snow tracks particles. We need to save that as a scene in our chapter 4 folder. We can get rid of this now. Okay, now we have to add the particles. We're gonna say test particles. All right, so we're gonna say test particles equals load snow track particles. No, wait, hang on. Oh, because that's not the actual, okay, hang on. Particle scene is load that, and then particles is particle scene dot instantiate, right? Isn't it? Is that not right? Hang on. Oh, well, for one thing, that's the wrong spelling. So how do we load? You load from a path, and then yeah, you instantiate. That's it. So why is that not? Okay, just assume that that's working. And then we're gonna add child. It needs to be added to the sub viewport specifically. And then in our process function, we're just gonna wiggle it around, I guess. Test particles dot position dot x equals Let's do a sine wave. And then multiply it by 5. Just so we can see some movement here. Wait, is that the position or the X position? Okay, I did do X position. Okay, I do not see it. Do not see it. Darn. Why not? Remote view says that the sub viewport exists. It has a camera. It has a snow tracks object. I'm going to mess with its view layer. I don't see it. Oh, because it's in the sub viewport, right? Sub viewport. I'm gonna turn off its own. There we go. Okay, so there it is. It does exist. It is there. Let's add something that's gonna help us see this. They do exist. I don't know. I never met the guy. It's just ingrained in our collective consciousness forever, isn't it? That's a shame. Anyway. We're gonna add a sprite 3D. Texture, doesn't matter, just throw a texture in here. Okay. Snow track handler. This. Viewport texture, done. Oh, I mean, the Hershey's Kisses bells don't. Oh, it's gone. Uh-oh. It's not like I wake up like a sleeper agent and have to respond by reciting it in the same voice as Billy West, right? He does that one. Oh, I really don't like the fact that I don't see the texture. That's scary. Like if I take this out, obviously I'll just see this blank sprite here. Yep. Great. That tells me that viewport texture is maybe not getting the proper path. Path is at sub. Oh, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right. Unless. No, it is at sub viewport at 172. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, well then. So the viewport texture it's creating, I can't see it. I don't have a great way to inspect it live because it is being generated on the fly. And I can't see what the camera sees. Like, I can't even see the sprite that's supposed to be, well, hang on. Well, what's this? That's not the one. Not the same one. Yeah, it's not this one, because this one doesn't have a viewport texture, right? Don't worry about this one. Get rid of this guy. Oh, I love blue. When running live, can I view the size of a sprite 3D? Regardless of not being able to see it? Because it's invisible? Okay, so I have a sprite 3D. I have a position for it, but that doesn't really help, does it? Yeah, rotating it's not going to help. Scaling it's not going to help. I've got a texture. Resource is local to scene. All right, well. Supposing then, I say new viewport texture. Oh, I don't have a viewport, never mind. If I did have a viewport, and I don't know, just a camera pointing at, it doesn't matter what. Sure, we'll just have it there. Go, just a camera looking out here. All right, so we have a camera. That creates us a texture, a live texture. And then I say that this sprite uses this texture. Boom, that's what we get there. It's a little flickery, don't worry about it. If I run this, so that one appears, and it does not see the other one, which makes sense. How does this look in the remote view then with these two sprites? This one has a texture, and it's local to scene. This one has a texture, and it's local to scene, and it has a sub-viewport path, 172. This one has a sub-viewport path of the sub-viewport that's the child object of it. So where is the other why is the other sub-viewport not doing its thing? It has a camera. I can turn on all the coal mask in the world, and that's not helping. It doesn't have an environment. I just noticed that this other one... Oh, wait, that's the other one. It's this one I'm interested in. Isn't it? No, it's not. No, this is the automatically created camera, and it has no environment. Ooh, is that something? Is that something? So this one has no environment, but I can create an environment, and you can see that it now has an environment, and I can say, okay, use a custom color of purple. There we go. Yeah, go for it. Now when I look at this live, and I look in the remote view, does it show the environment listed for this extra camera? Which is this one. Yes, that one does show an environment. Does this one show? This one still does not show an environment. It tells me it's not getting set properly. Rotation looks fine. Position looks fine. Now, then again, it is coming through as pure white. Is that noteworthy? Because I did tell it that I wanted it to have a white background. What if I said red? Does this square now appear as red in game? Well, no, I mean, it doesn't appear at all. Okay. I forgot about that. That was the whole point. Camera.environment. That is the camera we're adding. This is all getting set correctly, so that is the right object. Print this. Print this. Take this. What did we print? Null. Why does that come across as null? I'm supposed to give it an environment, not a world environment. I think that's what's going on there. I don't know if that's the actual problem here, but that is definitely what's happening here. That's why that was screwing up. Okay, that still didn't fix that, but that should make this appear. Yeah, now we actually have an environment here. Okay, that solves that question. What is different about these two things? I mean, aside from the obvious transform differences, I think the cameras are fine. I think whatever the problem is, it's with the texture we're producing. 21 pixels, huh? That's not right. That's definitely not right. It's supposed to be this times viewport pixels per unit. Okay, well there's something. That's a float. I don't know if that's gonna fly, but we'll try it. Okay, that seems like it's... Okay, I'm at least getting a believable texture size now. But I can't view the texture. Okay, but I know this one is working. Everything looks normal. The differences I'm seeing are understandable. Okay, then it's gotta be the next piece, which is the texture, the viewport texture, which I'm not allowed to look at because it's not rendering. Blind Google here. Dynamically created viewport texture. Viewport path not linking the texture to the render target. Oh, do not use viewport texture.new and manually set the path. Instead, use get texture from the sub viewport. Ah. Okay. Okay. That's good info. So right here, instead of what we were doing, do subviewport.getTexture instead of this. All right, let's try it. Fingers crossed. Show me a viewport. Hey, there it is. Okay. Oh my gosh, we're gonna get tracks. We're gonna get tracks. Well, that tracks. All right. We can get rid of the Sprite 3D because we don't need to see our test anymore, I don't believe. Here it is. Tracks in the snow. That's fairly subtle, but there are tracks in the snow. How can we improve upon this? Like that's obviously not big enough, right? You know what? Bring the Sprite 3D back. I want to look at this texture. So this texture represents the entire snowy land here. Let's scale it up to roughly match the scale we've got going on here. About yay big. Not quite lined up, weirdly. Very weird. So you can see it's lying. That's right around there. Why is it all the way over here? That's worrying. Because it's supposed to be a texture that goes all the way to here. Oh, it's because we're not there yet on that step, which is the offset stuff. So each individual one is going to get that going on. Yeah, see, it's got the same thing going on here. Each texture. Okay. But huge milestone because now we can actually see the effect. But it's not scaled properly. And it's not positioned properly yet. Okay, bring that back down, and yeah, that'll work. Okay, so now we need to actually add to our texture code, which is scary. So what we're wanting to add to this. What do we want to add to this? How do triplanar shaders work? Can I get the global position? If I can get the global position, we could offset Is that what we want to do? Because I don't want, I essentially want to emulate the behavior of a triplanar. So how would that? This is our triplanar shader. How does this work? How do we get triplanar position? Ugh. Yuck. Is that right? Huh.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's either that or set the position as a shader parameter. I have to do this model matrix business. Times vertex. UV1 scale, UV1 offset. We're gonna try this and see what happens when we mess with this. We'll mess with the vertex information because that's easy to see. I need UV1 scale and UV1 offset, which in this are Vec3s. Okay. So yeah, let's just mess with stuff. So we'll take this position. Wait, this is getting set. Yeah, in the vertex data. So that's probably fine. And then I don't know. Vertex dot y plus this dot z. What could this possibly do? Let's find out. This may not do anything good for us. Okay. That's different. It's not what we were expecting, but I like it. Vertex Y. Vertex Y plus vertex.z. We're gonna be flying blind for a bit. Yeah, I don't see the object at all. Oh, okay. I see a little snippet of geometry. Oh, that's the tree. Invert this, maybe. There we go. Okay. Now, here's the question to determine if it is actually globally triplanar. Use the X position. Can we work off of this? Ah, yes, we have a full diagonal going across the whole thing. Okay, okay. That gives us data we can actually work with. Ah, okay. So we can use the model matrix. I don't think we need these. So now, oh boy. So now it gets complicated. We're gonna be making some edits here. Now, rather than use the default UV, oh no. How do we know? Oh, we still need to pass in a shader parameter. But this makes me think we can generate this shader material once, not per mesh, because I think if we use triplanar, they can all use the same shader and not have to use different offsets. Okay, so what we need to do then is we do need to add a shader parameter for, I guess, a max and a min location. So that's gonna be a uniform vec3 for min corner and max corner. And this is just to define the same coordinates that the viewport is using. This is probably not a good idea. It's probably not a great way to handle this, but we're gonna do it. All right. Min corner. We already got this, right? Yeah, leftmost. Y value doesn't matter. And frontmost. And then max corner is going to be our rightmost and backmost. Okay. Now we need to actually do something with this. Now that we have this data, we have the position of the triplanar. Based on our experiment with messing with the vertex Y using this data, it seems that it's 1 unit to 1 unit. So if we are globally 1 unit to the left, then I can read a 1 here. This UV1 triplanar position gives us the global space, maybe local space. We haven't actually tested that. Should we test that? Probably. Let's test that. So we'll see a big diagonal here in the snow, a very normal diagonal. Now, if I start shifting this mesh around in 3D space, it slides. It doesn't just translate, it slides along that value, which implies that it is using global values. Okay, good, good. All right, now we do the hard part. That was apparently the easy part. Now we get to do the hard part, math. Using this information, we want to take these UV values and intercept them. UV is a vec2, right? Yeah. So we're gonna intercept the UV values that are used, and we're instead going to offset them and scale them based on the triplanar position and the minimum, maximum stuff. So the idea is we've got our blob of snow. Normally, what the game does is it treats this area as a rectangle and defines its coordinates as 0, 0 in one corner and 1, 1 in the other corner. And then whatever texture we give it just gets stretched out and splatted onto the snow. Our goal is, of course, to get the little snow tracks to splat in the correct direction. So the difference here is what we've actually got is we have multiple patches of snow, and they're all using one big dynamically created texture. We have the positions here as min x comma min y to max x comma max y. We've passed that information onto the shader. Now the shader, meanwhile, is like, I've got a lovely box here from 0 to 1, and we want to say, no, don't use 0 and 1. Use, let's say this point is actually in space, -3, and this point is 5. We want to say, hey, that 0 and 1, instead of that, can you use -3 to 5? And it'll say, sure. Except it won't be 0 to 3. We're actually stretching it to, we're translating it to a full 0 to 1 texture. So the UV value, we want to convert it so it's this fraction between 0 and 1, this subset. Like, hey, this is about 1/3 to 2/3. This is about 0 to 1/5, or whatever like that. So we need to figure out what that formula is. It's going to be algebra, and it's going to be pretty trivial. The only problem is figuring out what the exact question is. So we've got our global values ranging from min to max. Let's say min is like -12 and max is like 12. And in reality, these are actually not single numbers, they're points in space. But don't worry about that. So I have this value and this value. The triplanar data gives us this value and this value. We want to convert it to a ratio between 0 and 1 related to these points. That's not bad at all. That's actually super doable. So just for the x values, we have our max, let's say capital M, minus our min, lowercase m. That's our range. That's going to be our divisor, or is that the dividend? I've never actually kept those straight. I was really good in math. I got really good grades, and I never could tell you which one was a dividend and which one was the divisor. we're going to take this -3 value, we'll say A. So we're going to take A minus our min. So in this case, -3 minus -12 is going to give us 5. And then divide it by this, right? Divided by 24. Yeah, that's about 1/4. Oh, good point, Dove. Good point. All right, let's implement that. So that is how we're calculating our new UV value. UV.U is our old, that's our A. That's our A value. Minus our, oh, no, that's not A. That's not A. That's 0. What does that correspond to? No, we're not using UV at all, are we? We don't care about the UV at all because we have the triplanar data. So we're gonna take that dot X. We're gonna subtract our min corner dot X. New magic there. And then we're gonna divide that by max corner dot X minus min corner dot X. That is our first value of a vec2, which is our new UV. Do the same thing for Y, except it's actually Z. And that's it, right? Is that it? Do the same for this one. Is that even gonna build? Uh-oh. Oh. Okay. Did that work? Did that just freaking work? That looks to be in the right position. If we scale this sprite up, we can actually check to see if that overlays correctly. Let me see here. Let me tilt this back a bit. So I can scale this a bit better. Right around here-ish. Oh, that does look about right. That does look about right. That lines up. Okay, let's mess with this formula here. Let's instead say that when we're going back and forth and back and forth, why don't we go further? Let's go 20. 25. I want to see it. No, let's go 30. I want to see it cross over to the other side. Oh, there it is. There it is. It's doing it. It's doing it. Okay, now wiggle. Oh, we got snow tracks. We got snow tracks. And they actually have depth. We just did shader magic. I mean, admittedly, we were editing an existing shader, but this is important. Oh, I love Quest 64. Mario Party. Okay, that's huge. That's huge. Blast Corp. Okay. That's so big. That's so big. All right, next step. Here we go. I'm gonna leave the sprite up for now, but I'm gonna remove this automatic test particle business. We're not doing test particles anymore. We're doing real particles now. Okay. So how do we attach real particles? When this is ready, do we have a player? just as a sample, do we have a player? Yes, we do. Okay. Well, let's add some particles to that. Oh, okay. So now it's gonna get tricky, as if it wasn't tricky already. We need a function. Attach particles to character. Attach particles to actor. Actor being a character body 3D, but we'll accept any node 3D for now. To do this, I need to create a remote transform and attach a new, okay, so first, remote transform equals remote transform 3D.new. I just learned about remote transforms when learning about this demo shader for the snow tracks. And we're going to use them for our own purposes. The remote node is going to be a node 3D.new. The remote node needs to be added to the viewport. While the transform has to be added to the actor. And then we have to plug one into the other. The remote transform dot remote path equals, it's a relative path, right? Yeah. Get relative path, get local path, get path to. Yeah, so remote transform dot get path to remote node, so it knows where to find it. Update position, that should default to true, right? Yeah, that all defaults to true. That's fine. Okay, that's it for that. Okay, so now that will automatically update the transform inside the viewport, and now the viewport itself. We need to add the particle, snow tracks particle. That's going to be preload. So instantiate that, and then the remote node, add child, particles. Okay, attach particles to actor. Fingers crossed. That might break. Well, it's something. It's wrong, but it is trying. It's trying its hardest. Scale seems a bit off. Seems a little bit off. Also, I'm leaving tracks even when jumping, but we're not worried about that yet. Put that on the to-do list. Why is it so oddly scaled? I can barely see it on here. Oh my goodness, it's GameCubed. GQ, we're making tracks in the snow. I did a lot of math. It was great. You just missed all the math parts. Which sucks to be you. That's the way it goes. I can't see this being added to this, weirdly enough. That's all the math I need. Okay, there we go. That's better. Why is it Why is it so over there? Why is it so small? Why are the tracks not following me exactly? I mean, they're definitely mimicking me, but they're also very wrong. Is it is my scale interestingly done or something? What's the deal here? I've got a position of 9 across here. I'm 9 across. Meanwhile, the snow tracker has a node. This also says that it's 9 across, but that doesn't look like it's 9 across. Unless... Nope, I got nothing. What's the difference here? A third? Happy egg. Egg. That is weird. Why is it... Okay, hang on. Let's go up here. Burp, burp, burp. Yeah, it's like a third. Almost exactly a third off. That's got to be noteworthy, right? Is there some kind of scale? It's the sub viewport doesn't have a scale. It can't have a scale. Snow track handler. The room itself has a global scale of 1. That's the gist. That's the general idea. All right, so let's see. I put you at 0, and you're here. I put you at 10, and you're here. I put you at 3.3. Oh, no, it's not exactly 3. It's about 4.2. Keep on egging, that's what they say. Why is the transform weird? Okay, wait, no, this has to do with the handler viewport pixels subdivide. It's not the subdivide distance. What are the viewport pixels? That could be. It could be something with the viewport pixels, because the camera size is. Does that make any sense? I don't feel like that makes any sense either. All right, idea. Instead of adding things to the sub viewport, like the remote node, we're just going to put them in the remote node. We also had the camera, and that's it. I guess so. Yeah. All right. So what would this do? I should be able to see the actual particle effects now, right? Yes, and they are following the player exactly. These are following the player very nicely. So the remote node is operating correctly. The camera is the weird one. No, it's the camera that's wrong. All right, camera. Use own world 3D. What if not? What if just add child camera and remove the own world 3D I don't even have that, do I? Because I don't need it. Camera. Show me an aerial view of the world. Okay, or not. Show me that. What is that? Camera, what are you showing me? That's scary, camera. Let's put that away. Oh, it's about that time. Oh, that snuck up on me. We made good progress. Oh, heck yeah. Good progress tonight. Ooh. We figured out the viewport issue. Now all it is really is just that the scale is off, but it is properly carrying over the tracks between the different tufts of snow, even though they are different meshes. I can go over and make tracks in either one. It's just I can't quite. And its actual depth, you can like see that it actually kind of goes down. See, look at that. And it's got that extra color, which really, I just need it to be the right scale, and I think it's going to be incredible. Then we have to actually dynamically tell it what to track, what things leave tracks. We have to remember that some things can be removed from the scene or added to the scene while the game is running. For instance, you could swap partners, you can kill an enemy, those kind of things. We have to watch for that. Okay. I don't know any of you. I don't know any of you. See, that's the thing. That's the thing, is we can do things with this. Like, this was just going to be a fun little decoration, but we can actually do things with this effect now, which is neat. That's neat. Okay, what do we got here? Categories. No. No. What, nobody streams on Sunday nights anymore? I'm so excited, guys, about tomorrow. You know what tomorrow is? Tomorrow is the first day that kids go back to school after spring break. I'm tired. I'm tired. The movie Sleepless in Seattle. Ghost with Patrick Swayze. See, I would love to give a proper raid to new people, but I feel bad because I'm not going to be able. I need to go to bed. Is what it comes down to. I need to make a new spreadsheet to find new people. I need to update my uBlock origin to, because I don't want to see AI run streams. I did find a nice way to specifically block individual channels back from the you guys may remember the Family Guy days of Mario Maker. Yeah, it's just there's at least one stream is just, it's an AI that, you know, builds apps or something, and you interface with it through chat and tell it build something that does this, and then it does that, and then you just hope no one's doing anything nefarious. Let's see here. Oh, we could go see Gary Proper Duck. Mac loves Gary. I know that for sure. Mac was so offended that her emote spam got filtered. Why don't we go stop it with GFE? He's doing Roguemon. Haven't seen GFE in a while. Oh, I feel really good about where we are with this. No, you're gonna hold a judge for the rest of your life. Okay, yeah. I still want to finish this. This is just like the basic like hook into chapter 4. We just need to get a steady foot into chapter 4 and have one good looking scene. Look at that. These are fun little pop-up trees. I love these. I think these turned out very nice. We can even have items pop out. But yeah, this is gonna be really good. I think it's gonna be fun. We're gonna get the base, like the base backdrop is done. We can reuse that for a few different places in chapter 4. There's gonna be some areas that are completely different in the same way that the desert and the mines in chapter 3 do not share anything. I will be back tomorrow and we will continue on our journey of making art, video games art. $15 free. We'll get it while it's hot.